What's up, traders? Welcome back to the YouTube channel here. My name is Austin Silver. I appreciate you joining us. I'm sitting down today with my coaches, co-hosts of the podcast, my brothers from another mother. I got Evan, James, and Tom sitting down. Boys, it's good to have you. I know today's video is going to be really informative. Everybody clicked on this video because they love it when we talk about our losses. The losses are so relatable in this business. And I think one thing we can pride ourselves on when it comes to ASFX and the coaches and the business that we're doing here is that we don't hold back on the wins and we don't hold back on the losses. We show you guys everything. And I think that's why the brand continues to grow at the pace that we are growing. So first, I have to give James credit. Before we go into the video, before we promote anything, before we talk about anything, everybody in the comments, give James some love for putting himself out there, for putting his neck on the line to share his mistake from a few days ago, to review the mistake and see what he can pull from it, right? Evan and Tom, we got to give James credit for that.
Absolutely.
Huge credit.
I had no idea.
And that's typically what will happen. I mean, let's be real. Most people, especially people on the internet, they will take trades. They won't talk about their losses. They'll only show their wins. But where do we find the most value? Where do we find the most lessons? Where do we really start to make improvements to not repeat the things that are costing us money? It's from these losses. It's from days like this. And what's interesting to me, and I want to start with this, James, you stream on ASFX TV. And I should say this for the listeners, ASFX TV is now less than $1 per day, where you can watch me and Tom and James and Evan all week, every day. You can watch us trade live. You'll see the wins, you'll see the losses. But when you stream on ASFX TV, James, I've noticed it's really helped hold you accountable to the rules that you set in place for yourself. So I want to talk about what led to this day of tilt. And if we look at your month here specifically, you had a great month coming into the 20th where you lost that 4.5%. So why don't you break it down for us first, bro? What happened this week that you think led to this day of tilt? Because usually you're so disciplined and you're so accountable to your rules. What's up, traders? The best way to learn how to trade is not through a trading course. I sell a course that teaches my strategies, and I'm telling you that honest advice. The best way to really learn how to trade is to watch experienced traders with proven track records navigate the live market. Now, when I got started as a trader, I was able to watch one of Wall Street's best traders live for a full day, just one day. And it made a huge impact on my trading. I still use some of the principles that he shared that day today, 6 years later. So now as I've built my reputation and my brand as a trading coach, I want to turn and give the trading community something back. We've started the Netflix for traders. It's called ASFX TV. It's now only $10 per month. It's the same price as Netflix, basically, where you can come and watch me and 3-4 other full-time traders navigate the markets live. And again, this is the best way for you to learn how to trade. You'll see us take trades. You'll be able to participate in some of them if you'd like. It's never financial advice. I have to be very clear about that. It's for entertainment purposes only, but you're going to actually see how a real full-time trader navigates the London session and New York session every day of the week. So click the link down below in the description. Maybe there's a card flying in on the screen. Take the 3-day free trial. Check it out. See if you're interested. You don't just get the live streams. You actually get to watch the recordings of any streams that you missed as well. So it's a no-brainer. For $10 a month, it's a no-brainer. So check it out. Link down below. Now back to the video.
I think honestly, just trying to force things, I think leading up into July, August, I had a great month in August, right? I think I made 4.5% or 4.8% in August. And then September came and we had that whole MyForex fund situation, lost a nice payout from there. So kind of like external factors have been kind of like the big scenario or, event in the last 2 months. So I know I did struggle in the beginning of beginning of September too with that situation. And then again, leading into this week, I think just trying to force trades and overcomplicating.
Come on, bro. Let's get into it. Why are you trying to force trades? You just said you had a good month, then you get shaken up a little bit during the MyForex fund stuff. Why are you forcing trades? What do you think that comes from?
Just wanting to be right and make money instead of focusing on like the abundance mindset, just wanting to make money now and get it and make back the losses that from the month of September. That's literally all it is. Just wanting to be right.
if you have to pick, is it more the wanting to be right or more the wanting to make money? Be honest with yourself. Tell the YouTube audience.
Yeah, wanting to be right. No one
That's what I was going to say. It's not like you're pressed
Yeah.
for making the money right now. So that's why I want to know, like,
Yeah.
why is your ego so big, bro? Why are you getting in your own way, do you think? And I know you've done some reflection on this. So give us some thoughts on like calming the ego, because that's what this sounds like it is.
Yeah. I think you get to a point where, you know, you just kind of, it's kind of like also like a numbing feeling as well, because I have had 3 of these days this year. Last year I had 20. So I've definitely improved and been working on my C game this year, and you can go and tilt at any stage as a trader. You know, I think the thing though, what happens is, I took an early loss. We'll get to the trades now, but I took an early loss, and then instead of just being like reading price action for what it was, I'm just trying to continue being right in my directional bias instead of just being like, hey man, like it's clearly not, the shorts aren't in play yet today. And it's so much more easier said than done, because if I wasn't in this trade with real money, you can be like, well, man, that's clearly not looking short bias. Just, but you see, you have to put your money where your mouth is, and that's where actually it's a bit more tough, right? It's easy in hindsight to do this with no money on the line. But when you actually, that's why trading is so tough, is because not only do you have to be an analyst and get the directional moves right, but you also have to actually put money behind those reads. You know, anyone can say, well, I think the dollar index is going to tank in the next day or something. Okay, cool. Put a position on. Show me that you're right. Show me that you can make money doing that. You know, there's a difference between doing that and actually calling a market and actually putting money on those reads. It's a completely different ball game. So I think I just got caught in my wanting to be right of my actual directional bias, instead of just being like, hey, take the loss, just stay out of the trade. Like this trade to the high side wouldn't be my play. I don't trade against that 50-minute 200 EMA. So just taking the loss and being like, my direction was wrong today, you know?
Yeah, I think that's for the thing that stands out to me the most is having seen you only have like 3 of these days that have sort of ended up as a bit of a blowout. Typically, you are extremely good at just cutting losses when things are going against you. But then, so what was, like, to Austin's point, let's dig a little bit deeper. What on this day led to like the bigger size and the fact that we're going to hold on to them losers? Because this is something that, like, you've, like, clearly on the 5th, Thursday, the 5th of October, you took 5 trades and you were down 0.08. You don't do that unless you're cutting your losers very quickly. You're good at managing risk. What was different about this day specifically?
Yeah, I think one, that it was a Friday and I was like, maybe shouldn't have been in this trade first of all, and then, you know, wanting to end the weekend off on a good note and did the complete opposite. But I think that that just wanting to end the week strong, and I think to be all honest as well, I think just my lack of preparation this day, like daily routines. I don't think I had a good routine this day, as I normally do. I think that is so important, you know, like when I'm not in my daily routine, I just feel completely out of it. Compared to when I'm in my routine, I'm back. Like when I went to visit family now the last 3 weeks, I just felt completely out of it with my trading. So I just had to be in my routine, which helped a lot. So even though I was away from my desk and on my laptop, I was still on it because I was in my daily routine. But I think just this day, and I just wasn't on my daily routine that day. And I thought, you know, that I'm just going to make money, and it's easy to make money in the markets. I'm just going to buy and sell and make money at will. It's never like that in the markets. You always have to be prepped and be ready for what the market's going to give you. Because as soon as you ease off on the gas or you're not working, that's where, and you think that you've made it, that's when the market comes to really humble you.
It's like complacency. Like if you look at your month, you were doing very well. And I think what else stands out, and Tom brings it up kind of in a point there, like when you hit these 1 trades and done, 2-3 trades and done, you have great days. It's these days where you have 5 trades that you've actually cost yourself some money. So I think while you might be able to take losses well, like you just said, it's the day you come in with no plan that it spirals, that it becomes difficult to take losses. But I've noticed with your DRCs, because you share them in the morning, you share a game plan. Now, if that game plan comes to fruition, win or lose, you seem to take those very unemotionally with very little ego. And that's rooted in a good plan. When you don't have the plan, when you don't say, hey, I think Euro longs are going to be in play because of X, Y, and Z, and then you look for those, when you don't have that, it gets easier to go off tilt, which I'm sure a lot of the audience can relate to. Now, this can translate, I think, into another point that's important to touch about. It's what happens is you almost like lull yourself to sleep with these small wins, bro. Oh, I'm up about 1% this week. I'm up about 0.5% this week. Sometimes that leads to saying, I'm not making enough, or I want to make more. I want to step on the gas. I want to finish. So in the combination of no morning routine, no plan, and then that allows maybe the feeling to come to the surface of let's make more money today. Let's go at it. And it is a little bit of overconfidence. I think whenever people trade like this, and all of us have done this, and we've all made videos about when we've made mistakes like this, it's overconfidence because you are doing well. It's not like this was the first day you came to the desk and just started trading and just put on a bunch of risk and just did this randomly. It's almost like the confidence because you're performing well opens up the door for a day like this. And it's about being aware of that and experiencing it enough times now to say, hey, I know myself. When I'm having a pretty good month, I tend to like get a little too confident, and that confidence leads to tilt. So maybe something that you should talk about is like, what are you doing now going forward to not let overconfidence get the best of you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think just what I literally sat for an hour and a half last night, and just simplified my trading. You know, I think I was trying to do too much with my trading, and sometimes the best trading systems are the most simple trading systems. You know, because you know most of the time, or actually all the time, it's never the system. It's always the trader, right? If there was a system that was like the holy grail, everyone would be trading one way, and that's would be the way that everyone would make money. But it's never like that, you know. And that's why trading is always adapting, and the market's always changing, and you always got to be changing as well. But I think what I did is I just sat down, simplified my rules to literally like 5 points, and I was like, cool, that's how I'm going to trade. You know,
Yep.
so just simplifying it completely instead of trying to be too cute with my technical analysis. I'm just simplified it completely so I can focus on having the right mindset. Because I think when I simplify my trading, then I'm like, well, my trades aren't yet today. I don't like price action. I can come back, you know, tomorrow. Instead of trying to be the most smartest person in the room when it comes to technical analysis, you really don't have to be. You know, you just have to be the best at actually executing a plan.
And then what would you say, and maybe we'll pass this to Evan too, what would you say to the guys that are listening who want to have the confidence to say, I have a plan. I know that if this plan happens, I want to execute. If they don't have the knowledge to build that plan, let's go to Evan first. Would there be something that you would say would be step one in having that confidence in building that plan, or building the knowledge base to create a plan for the day? What would you say to the guys that don't think they have that level of knowledge yet?
Well, I just know for me, first of all, like my best trades come when I have a plan. Like I very rarely flip to a pair. Oh, there's a setup in play. Let me take that. That's a good one. Like it's usually like I get to the desk. This is what I'm watching, and I don't need to stare at it for the next 3 hours because it needs to do this, and it's not doing this right now. So I'm doing nothing. Like I wait, and then it happens, and I execute. There's no like jumping around finding a trade, and that's like when I just feel like I'm at my best. I'm in my flow state of just like I know exactly what I'm looking for today. As long as that doesn't happen, then I know I didn't miss anything. And if it does happen, I know what I have to do. So it's just very easy to be confident and fluid and like in your execution, not have to overthink, talk yourself out of a trade, talk yourself into a bad trade. Like it's just very simple because I have this checklist, like James mentioned, mine's slowly getting slimmer and slimmer of just like, I just need these things. And as long as those are checked off, then I could be happy with that I was in it. There's nothing else I can control, but my execution of getting in and making sure it fits my edge and fitting my plan. And that really only came from just doing markups and studying my best trades with you guys and with other members in the chat of just like seeing these markups over and over again of what is my best setup? Like what should I keep track of? Like we have so many people with 30 indicators on their chart. Do they all tell you something? Yeah, maybe, sure. But if you just use 3 and then try to find rules based just around those 3, and you can build your own little mini edge inside of that. So like, okay, yeah, maybe I can make it an 8 checklist, but like let me just limit down to 3, and if it has those, that's my trade. So I think just getting confidence really comes from just doing the markup, seeing it. Like James knows what his best setup is now because he's studied it and he's watched it so many times and taken it so many times, and then through that he takes the losers. Okay, well, what's maybe sticking out in those losers that I could slim it down even more, and then okay, now I'm just looking at these 4 things. Okay, you're always going to take losers, but you just want to always look at the losers and say, is there anything I could be doing better that could help me prevent maybe less of these losers? And that just comes from markups and reps.
It's not like these are bad trades, James, right? Like neither of these are trades that you could look at and say on the entry here that this is something you shouldn't be in. It's the management of the trade. It's the tilt that you had when you didn't get out of the trade, when you moved the stop loss, when you added in on one of these, I think, right? So let's just talk for a second about that. One mistake became 2, became 3, became 4 for you. So what can you say to some of the guys that want to make improvements, that they want to make sure they don't let one mistake turn into 2, turn into 3? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the first thing is having predefined risk. So if you're going to enter a trade, you got to be accepting of the loss. Like, it can turn into a loss. I think this day I wasn't accepting of that, right? So I took the loss and I'm like, no, I want to get back to break even. I want to make my money back. So I wasn't thinking let's trade well. I was thinking, let me make my money back.
P&L thinking, not process thinking.
Yeah, I was just trying to get my money back from the loss that I just didn't accept my loss. And I think just one a quote from Tom Dante. He says that if you pop a tire, if your tire gets, if you have a breakdown of a tire, you don't slash the other 3 tires just because one's down.
So
and I
true.
think that's what I did on this day. I just slashed the other 3 tires just because I had one tire that had malfunctioned. So yeah.
Yeah, I know Tom loves Tom Dante, right, Tom?
Yeah.
You can't beat a Tom Dante quote.
I do
now,
like that one.
Of course, it's a good one. That is a good one. But you also are a Crudelli fan, Anthony, or James. I know you love Anthony, so I'm going to start calling you Anthony now. What do you think? What do you think Anthony would say to you, bro, after a day like that? What would he tell you to go do on Saturday or Sunday?
He would say, honestly, I think Anthony, he would probably say something like, dude, you know what to do. Just figure it out. He keeps it
go
simple.
play golf,
like,
go clear your head,
go
and
play
then
golf.
come back and do the right thing. Yeah, I would say the same
he's
thing.
Like, you know what to do. Yeah, he would probably be like, dude, you know what to do. Take time off, go play golf, go smoke a cigar, have that Friday night juice, and figure it out. You know what to do. You know what you did wrong. Just fix it. There's no other way you can really get around it. That's happened. You can't go back in the past. You just figure it out and fix it.
That's it. And I think this is we wanted to make sure we touched on the seminar coming up in December. So I think it's a great point to mention it here. One of the things we're doing at the London seminar this year, everybody, it's different, not just because James is joining me and Tom, which is huge, but it's different because a lot of our guests this year are ex or current Black Shirt Club members, people who have been in our mentorship group. And what we really are going to focus on in the seminar, at the seminar in London, is I would call it the underbelly of being a professional trader, right? Like last year, Tom, what did we do? A2, because the A2 strategy was very new. We drilled a lot of back testing. We talked about stats. We talked about different variations of the A2. It was hundreds of markups. This year, it's going to be much different. We're still going to do the group work. We're still doing the trade practice. It's going to still have a lot of that. About 3.5 hours of the day is probably going to be group work. But a lot of the rest of the day, even through lunch, when I just keep talking, it's going to be about building a professional trading business, being and acting like a professional. Now, does that mean, I'm passing this to you, Tom, does being and acting like a professional mean that you do it every single day? Does that mean you're perfect every day?
Honestly, I had this conversation with somebody in the BSC earlier on a coaching call. Perfection in trading is something that really shouldn't go together, because people that are perfectionists, that have these massively high standards, are the people that are always going to sort of fall short and lead to some emotional and psychological problems. Now, we can have very, very high standards, but from my experience, perfectionism in trading can be a detriment to your results and your processes, etc. So I think there should be a big emphasis on expectations and allowing for times to be wrong in trading. It is part of the job description. Like, you are going to have to take losses, you are going to make mistakes, and as a trader, we have to accept and understand that to be able to move forward and survive in this career. If we think that we're going to have 100% win rate, we're going to execute perfectly all of the time, we are only setting ourselves up for.
But that's what they tell me on Instagram, Tom. They tell me on Instagram.
Of course they do. Like all these people driving around in Lambos and yachts. Unfortunately, the real world is a little bit different to that when it comes to trading. And James does an amazing job of sharing this. And honestly, it was great to like the engagement that this post got when he posted it on Twitter and on his social media, and in the VIP chat, got so much more likes and engagement and things like that for sharing this, because this is honestly like the real trading and the truth. And so this was kind of, we've touched on it a little bit, but this was going to be my point, that this is so relatable for people out there, that people like James that have made all of this money in the last 2, 3, 4 years of trading and in there making money month after month, multiple payouts, etc. This happens and this is normal. Like, yes, we make these mistakes, but James learns from it. He opens up and he shares it. So every time you make this, know that it's how you react to your errors and your mistakes that counts. Like you say, you don't want to then come in and just go and try and win this back in the next day. Because James could have easily come in on this Monday and said, you know what, I'm going to gunsling. I'm going to try and get that back in one hit. And that's what a lot of these amateurs will do. They'll come in and say, right, I need to get it back straight away. Because, I fucked up on Friday. I need to get that money back. And then we'll be break even. I'll never break my rules ever again.
Yep.
It doesn't work like that. So James has took this approach. He's took the weekend and then he's come back and he started to build it back slowly but surely. He's gone, not tried to force it. And I think that's the big thing for me, is how James has reacted to this loss is the key thing for people to take away.
It's a great point. The rebound on Monday. It's a great point. And again, I think you made a bunch of good points in there, Tom, but think about it just to stem it a little bit deeper. Think about what Crudelli would do, or think about what Tom Canfield would do. Are they ever talking about perfection? No, but because they know they could blow up and do what James did any day. So what do? They try not to let one mistake become two, become three, and they try to let these days happen very far apart. And over time, as they happen farther apart, they end up costing you less money too. So it's not just the reaction, but it's being able to zoom out and say, yep, it's one day. Bro, 4% for you, James, you can make that back in 2 weeks. Just looking at the way that you trade, you just got to come into some wins. You can make half of this back in a week. So to me, not only is the reaction good on a Monday, but it is good to be thinking about it as like, I'm not trying to be perfect. Like Tom said, I'm just trying to make this day happen less often. And that's another thing we're talking about at the London seminar, right, James? Really quick to wrap up, mention that 20 days versus 3 days thing.
Yeah. So, so last year I had 20 of these days where I had blowout days, right? I think, and this goes, I want to mention two things at the as well at the end. So I had 20 of those days of these days last year where I lost 4% or more, right? And I still made good money last year. I ended up over 60%, right, on my personal account. So I could have been up over 100% if I didn't have these days. You know, I mean, 20 of those days times 4, you do the math, that's 80%. You know, so I think the big thing this year that I've done is I've become completely accountable. Last year I was not accountable to anyone besides Amanda, right? But this year I've become completely accountable to the whole of the Black Shirt Club, the ASFX trading community, as well as Tom and Austin and Ev. So I own my wins and I own my losses. The thing that I got this from Sang Lucci is like, don't show me when you win, show me when you lose, because that's what really counts. Like, if you want to talk about your wins, then you must talk about your losses, you know. And I think that thing for me is being quite a thing this year in terms of, you know, I'm the only person that is irresponsible. If I want to be praised when I'm doing well, then I must be questioned when I'm performing poorly, because that's what a real man steps up and does, right? There's another quote that goes, a man can fail many times, but he's only a failure when he starts blaming someone else. My trading results is only on my shoulders. The buck stops on me. If I'm doing well, then I'm doing well. If I'm doing poorly, then I've got to fix it. But it's always on me. You can't blame someone else, and I can't blame someone else as a trader, right? And I think that's where many traders lack. They lack that accountability. They want to. It's they're doing when they're doing well. It's kind of like the government. It's they when everyone's doing well, it's them. But when it's doing badly, it's always someone else. You know. So
no, bro. You're spot on, bro.
Yeah.
And that is you are. Yeah. Not just a good man, bro. You are a great trader because of that. And that's why it's so good to have you sit down and do this video and share this content and put out the losses, because like you just said, you're not only confident in your wins, you're confident in your ability to bounce back from something like this. And that is something me, Tom, Ev, every listener, every subscriber, all of us can take from you, bro. So I appreciate you. I appreciate Tom and Evan for being here as well, chiming in on this. This has been something of a topic of discussion amongst us. So it was good to get it out on a YouTube video. And I think this should interest some people to come join us in London. This is the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about the seminar. And if you can't make it to London, join us on ASFX TV. It's less than $1 a day. There's links to the seminar. There's links to ASFX TV, all down in the description. We want you guys as involved with us as we can to help shortcut your learning curve. James is only able to do this now because he has so many years of experience trading. When James and I first started working together, he didn't have this mindset. So if you're a new trader or if you're a struggling trader, the only thing you should be trying to do is obtain as much experience from other traders, more experienced traders, ideally, as much as you can. So shout out to you, James. And everybody, make sure you hit the comments, whether you come to London or you join ASFX TV. I don't care. Make sure you hit the comments and give James some love for this, because it's great to just see the accountability and see the step forward too, bro. Not see you get punched in the face and fall down crying. You get punched in the face and you lick the blood off and you go forward, bro. So I respect you a lot for that. And I know Tom and Evan do it as well. But listen, we're going to put a pin in it here. Guys, if you're watching, listening, make sure you follow me, Tom, James, and Evan. I got links down for the event, for ASFX TV, for everything. It's all down below. We appreciate you all very much, and we will see you in the next video.